Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Breakfast Club. We're here at Bristol Agricultural School, Bristol Aggie, we call it, the abbreviated
Yes, we do.
title. A special guest on Somerset Access TV's Breakfast Club is the Superintendent Director of Bristol Aggie, is Adele Sands. Is that right?
That is right.
And thank you very much for having us here at Bristol Aggie. It's
Thank you for coming. I'm
Beautiful.
so happy to have you here.
Beautiful. This is an office, too. I love this.
Yes, I'm very fortunate.
Thank you for inviting us, Adele. There's so much to talk about, the school, the programs, the events, the people. You know, how did you end up here? How did you end up here?
Well, it's a complicated story, but I was living out in the Berkshires, and a friend of mine who worked at the Department of Education called me up and said, I think I've found your perfect school. Now, I was already happily employed out in the Berkshires, and she said, you have to come out this way to work in an agricultural school. It's your ideal school. Fast forward 10 years later, and this position opened up at Bristol Aggie. I had been watching the Aggies for a long time, waiting, and I was just patient, and the position opened up here, and I applied with great hopes and enthusiasm.
So we say 10 years as you've been here? Or?
I've been out of the Berkshires for 10 years, but I was working at Tri-County Vocational School prior to this as the Director of Student Services. But I was just waiting for my moment to come and work here, yes.
The history of Bristol Aggie is like a secret in a way, because it's ignored in a lot of ways, unfortunately. And you looked at the county, the charge of the county commissioners was that they were in charge of the courts. They were in charge of the sheriff's department, and they had Bristol Aggie. And so Bristol Aggie never really got the top rating in the fight for the dollar, or the preservation, which was overlooked, I think, at the beginning for a period of time. And then after a while, the legislature got wise to the whole thing and just said, hey, we have an agricultural school, it's in the area, we're not doing a lot for them. You almost closed at one particular time because of the threat of that, I was around at that time. And we just cut away the sheriff's department, and we said to the courts, if it's a court that's in the state budget, I mean, not the big courts, but, smaller courts, things like that, they could entertain it. But priority, Bristol Aggie went to the top of that list. I forget how many years ago that was, Adele, but look at it today.
Well, I think, everything you said is accurate. I do think we're somewhat of a hidden gem. Yeah. But if you look at our 3 county commissioners right now, they have such a vested interest in this school. They work so diligently for the school, for our future. They're very, very active and very invested. So I feel as though the county really does know about us, but maybe the Commonwealth doesn't know enough about what we're doing.
We hopefully will make them.
That's my goal, is to make sure that there is no one in Massachusetts that doesn't know about Bristol
Even
Aggie.
to the point, as we suggested, you would do YouTube with your permission. And all that we do about Bristol Aggie will be on that. So people, wherever they live, the alumni, or wherever it is, they can always put on YouTube and get to see everybody and see how progressive it is. Also the commissioners. I figure I'm going to reach out to the commissioners and do something at the school at a meeting that they will have. And that, I don't know what the date or time is at this point, but that way there, Adele, I can at least thank them publicly and then include them in the YouTubes, where they will, certainly people will see that. I don't know how many hits we have on Diamond on the YouTube with all the classes, but it's thousands at this point.
That's amazing. That's
so it's not, maybe it's not every class, but it's the 17 classes. And I'm sure that you would have at least equal that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We would.
Now
we had sheep shearing here. So if we put sheep shearing on YouTube, I think a lot of people would be looking at that. We were doing a turtle release 2 weeks ago, and kids in canoes releasing our Head Start turtles from the Natural Resource Management Program. It's pretty exciting.
Well, you get involved, the state is involved in Bristol Aggie as it never
Very
was
much.
before, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And so what happens is all the things, the sheep sharing, the turtle release, all of the other things that can go on. The boys, the cameramen here, are going to get a list of those, and they're going to pick those up and add it to it.
That's
okay?
wonderful. We were tagging eagles last week. I actually
Tagging eagle.
tagging eagles. We had baby eagles, 5.5-week-old baby eagles that are still this big. We had U.S. Fisheries and Wildlife up. They got the eagles out of the nest, brought them down, and our students actually helped tag these eagles for U.S. Fisheries and Wildlife, which
You're
is
going to give us a big list.
oh, I'll give you an amazing list.
And it'll be
it just
something
keeps
to go on
coming,
to.
and I am so excited because people will send me something. We're tagging eagles today, so I'm off and
there.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Well, how many, like I say, yeah, but tell me about the new building, the project.
So we have, it's another piece of how well we're supported in the county. All of our towns and cities really have supported us. They recognize that we haven't done much renovation, well, since the school was started practically. But we're about to embark on $104 million building projects, including a whole new center for sciences and the environment.
Wow.
Incredible new building that's going to include natural resource management, environmental science and studies, and large animal and small animal sciences. We are going to renovate Gilbert Hall, which is our main
Your main building.
main building, and then we're building a whole new dairy that's going to have a robotic milking system in it. So
Wow.
I know, really exciting. This is
exciting.
just going to change the whole
This is
feel
all
of
in
the
one
campus.
building? Or?
This is three. The Gilbert Hall is going to be renovated. Then there's going to be the main environmental science and sciences building. We're going to have a new media center, cafeteria that's going to be built, and a new dairy barn. And we're the only high school that has a dairy, so we're really committed to continuing that program as well.
What do you do with the milk, may I ask?
We sell it to Agrimark. When you go and get Cabot cheese, you may be eating Cabot cheese that's made from milk from Bristol Aggie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some of the things you should advertise as well.
Oh,
as to what you're
absolutely.
doing.
Well,
It's like a program that goes on, never stops.
it's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
it's high school students.
And it's right up your alley.
It's right up my alley.
Right up your alley.
Yeah.
The programs offered. Give me I know there are so many. How many programs would you say offered?
But we have large and small animal science. We have natural resource management.
Two.
We have arboriculture, floriculture, ag mechanics, agricultural mechanics, landscape design and contracting, and then we will have environmental science.
Wow, and that's extensive. Environmental science is huge.
It's huge. It's huge.
Huge.
And the programs are all very excited. I mean, we have kids taking care of all the trees on the property who go on to Paul Smith's College. I mean, the top arbor schools in the country. We have our students go to amazing colleges. They also start their own businesses. And
Yeah.
it's
So
very
the
exciting.
location is helpful to you. Spacious.
Oh, it's
Plus,
amazing.
everybody feels a lot of farmers in the area, so a lot
are
of
very
people are into
connected.
all of the things you talked about.
Absolutely. Plus, we're on the Taunton River, so we can do all sorts of amazing
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah,
You,
we're very
you have
lucky.
any motor or any boats?
We don't have any boats. We are really looking at the agricultural piece of it, and we use boats. We certainly
I
we
know.
use boats to set the turtles off, and we canoe, and we have motor boats that we take the kids out to learn how to do all this. But it's all connected to natural resource management.
How many students do you have, Adele?
450 right now.
150.
But the part of the reason for doing all this building is because we have such a long wait list. We have so many students who should be here, who
You
want to
can't
be
bring 'em
here.
in.
We can't bring them in. So we're looking at potentially bringing in another 200 students over the course of 4 years.
That's great.
Yeah, it would be wonderful to be able to provide this to more kids in the county.
And it's something that's what the world is about today.
It is.
It's what
It
the
is.
world is about today, whether you're an environmentalist or not. It's all
Absolutely.
It's about all of that
Well,
happening.
this is everything. Agriculture is not just about farming. It's about all these things that we've been talking about. It's about all the environmental
Preserving
issues.
the land.
It is.
Okay? All
It
the
is.
things, what you harvest in your own way with agriculture.
Exactly. So it's more than just, it's the school, it's the education, but it's also just the life knowledge. I mean, the students leave here knowing how to take care of themselves and their children and how to be stewards of the earth. It's
I was out last night with my wife and dinner with some people, and was talking about Bristol Aggie, and the woman who was a friend of my wife, I don't know, 2 girls went here.
oh really?
And then I kind of pumped, and she's all excited about the fact that they had come here and gone through here. And they were floral design. They come out with floral design.
Oh,
So they're doing that now.
that's wonderful. Yeah, I find that all the time. I'll
Yeah.
bump into somebody and I'll say what I do, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm an alum from there. This is
Yeah.
what I do now." It's really,
Yeah.
it's very.
So if
exciting.
we're talking about, let's say,
far-reaching.
45 students, was it 45? 45 students.
450 students.
You said 450 students?
Yeah, that's how many we have here.
Oh, good. You got
Yeah,
it to
no, not
45.
45.
My
I don't
God.
think we'd
So
be
450 students, and you have to turn away a couple of hundred?
Yes,
Yeah, Diamond has the same problem.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we have a great relationship with Diamond. We
I'm sure you
raise
do.
we raise our chickens, and they use them in their restaurant.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
And
so
that's cute.
we have a nice little collaboration with Diamond.
And they have a great, you're right, they have a great restaurant.
They have a great restaurant.
Great
now they
restaurant.
have even better chickens than they used to.
Even better. But, it's great that you see this with yourself, Bristol Aggie, yourself, Adele particularly, and Diamond and Mr. Orban, trying to, put everything, they're always trying to put it together.
Absolutely.
And always concern, you have the same concern he does in the fact that he hates to turn anybody away.
Absolutely.
And you're the same way.
Oh, it's heartbreaking because there are so many students who would have this incredible education, and
Yeah.
they know they're supposed to be here, and
Yeah.
they want to be here. And some
Yeah.
of them say in letters, "I've wanted to be there since I was in, second grade,"
Yeah.
and it's just heartbreaking not to
Yeah.
be able to afford them this
What is
opportunity.
what is it that gives you the opportunity to pick up those 200? The buildings?
The buildings will help. The buildings
Okay.
will really
How about
help us a
teachers?
lot
How
because
about
we just
teachers?
don't have the space. And then, of course, we have to look at how we staff that.
Yeah.
As we grow bigger,
Yeah,
we have to be able to staff that.
yeah,
And we have to be able to take care of all the programs and the farm.
yeah.
And so it's,
So it's amazing. So actually, you could
Far-reaching.
produce for Diamond, let's say, most of the products, maybe not all of them.
well, we do have an amazing
No turtle
garden
soup.
going.
No turtle soup.
No, we save our terrapins.
I know.
We were tagging our terrapins the
Yeah,
other
I
day.
know.
Yeah, we know we can't give them our
Yeah.
terrapins.
So all the things that we talk about that you're being taught here,
Mm-hmm.
about agriculture and growing and food, is all something that helps the trade school in the
Absolutely.
neighborhood. How much land do you have here, Adele?
Almost 300 acres.
Wow.
And it's not just all on this campus. There are other, we have other
Satellites.
hay fields, and yes.
Yeah, okay. And you have access to the Taunton River?
We sit right on the Taunton River, which is incredible. So you watch the ospreys fly around, and you watch the bald eagles fly down the Taunton River.
Yeah.
And we have our apiary right next to the Taunton River, right behind this house.
Yeah.
We have our new apiary. We have honeybees.
Yeah, you got to be careful of bees.
I do.
You got to be careful of bees.
I do. Yes, I do. They.
So boat. I'll tell John Mitchell you got to get a boat in the budget, what have you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Why not?
I can go up and down the stream.
You go up and down the river.
Wouldn't that be
and
nice?
And get, but the opportunity for all trades, all agricultural schools like Bristol Aggie, is buildings,
Mm-hmm.
space, and of course, naturally, you got to go out and look for the right teachers for the right subject.
Absolutely.
But the subjects never decrease.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
They just get bigger and bigger.
They get bigger and bigger.
You find as you do whatever turtles, or if you do anything, you find another environmental necessity that has got to go along with it.
Absolutely. We have so many connections to colleges and universities and U.S. fisheries, New Jersey fisheries, Connecticut fisheries and wildlife. We have connections to all of these organizations because they need us to help
Right.
them do the work, and it's real-time research for our students. I mean, they're doing actual work for the U.S. government.
And you're also getting the agencies of the U.S. government to come in here
Absolutely.
and to check this out.
Yes.
What is Aggie Air?
Oh, Aggie Air. Aggie Air, we received a very large, $500,000 grant, capital skills grant. And it was used to purchase drones and for drone training. So we have an actual drone air force. And we have drones that are being used by the natural resource management students. We have drones. We've been talking to the Cranberry Growers Association about how we could help use drones to map out cranberry bogs. We use drones to look at land. Arboriculture can use drones to look at tree canopies. So you can look at the health of trees. You don't have to climb up to see the tree canopy health. You can use drones for all these things. And so we're really starting a drone air force so that we can.
So.
We do. We have hundreds and hundreds of drones. The students have all learned. We have 4 teachers who have their no, that's a different organization, FFA. The FAA certification that's FAA designated drone operator.
In the school, you have a central to launch these?
Yes. Well, we launch them all over the
Medical.
campus,
Yeah.
but we have part of our building is dedicated. We also
So you
have,
can trace your drones, move your drone.
yes, and the
Get
computer.
something and take a picture of it
Absolutely.
or computerize it.
Yeah, so the drones send information to computers. So right in the moment, the students can look at the computers and see what the drone is seeing.
That's amazing.
It's really
How
very
many
exciting.
drones did you say?
Oh, we have hundreds.
Oh, my God.
From
And
really tiny little drones
Yeah.
to drones that look like they were landing on the moon to drones that are half the size of this room.
Wow.
Just extraordinary.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the ones the biggest one? What are they used for? What particularly?
I don't know what we're going to use that for. It's
Oh,
still
okay.
in
You
a
haven't
big
used
box.
it.
That one is really, I think we've got to get much more
Involved.
in this. We've been
Yeah.
doing it for a little while, but I think before we send that one, that's particularly
So
expensive.
3,000 acres of land,
300, yes.
300 acres.
Yeah.
300 acres of land. I had just 3,000
Yes,
acres of land.
we're in
We're
Wyoming
going to bring
suddenly.
those 200 students aboard
Yes.
here by having the government put into that. There's so many angles here. I don't know if they're called angles, but how Bristol Aggie is funded. The Register of Deeds for homes is that when you go over, you get a piece of that action, which was kind of saving a day for you, and it accumulates. Of course, you wish that all the Registry of Deeds were in wealthy neighborhoods, you get a big action,
Right.
but it isn't. But just to think that is a savior, plus each town that we represent also contribute.
They do.
And I've never read or heard anything about a lack of financial support from the towns, and maybe I'm wrong.
Not at all. They are extraordinarily supportive. I think they have so much pride in this school
Yes.
that to have this extraordinary agricultural school in the heart of their county, I think that there is enormous pride. And we want to be worthy of that level of support. I mean,
Sure.
they've all agreed to fund this building project.
Yes, they
and
have.
that's a huge that's an enormous decision given the fact that they have their own schools to build. They're working with other Voc Tech schools. So to add us to that it really speaks to the level of
Well,
their
first of all,
support.
starts off, the big reason is what's coming out of here.
I agree.
And that's exactly what's coming out of here. And what they've been able to reach is to nature, where they're not reaching on brick and mortars. So that gives them a better heart feeling about what they're giving to. I
Absolutely.
think, you know.
Absolutely.
And because there isn't any, it could be a super hoop or an ultra conservative, it doesn't matter. The trades, the agricultural schools give you nature, they give you life, and they give you future.
Absolutely.
And that's
And
what's wonderful.
smart, interesting, thoughtful students who are coming out having had this wonderful education,
Yeah.
but also have these are students who want to go on and do great work to protect the environment, to
Absolutely.
to save us all from the messes we've gotten ourselves into
Yeah.
in the past.
And it's also a way to provide food for the world.
Oh yes,
And
Absolutely.
you know, the more this happens, the more you give to schools like this or this school, the more you lead to the future of the nation.
absolutely.
You're looking at trade. A trade's an issue. We're in a trade war. We're in all this stuff, and the food that comes from the farms, and how essential is that in the trade war to starving nations?
Oh,
The-
critical.
Yeah, right. And yet this is the lead to that. This is the all-purpose type of education that can enhance that trade with foreign nations.
Well, also, if you can provide food for yourself and your family, if you know how to build or grow or take care of chickens or any of the things that not only do you have a career ahead of you, you can become a veterinarian if you work in large animal science or small animal science. You can become a veterinarian, but you can also do something for yourself and at your home and in your life.
Yeah.
So it has a twofold, really extraordinary.
You know, I think that what Bristol Aggie, you know, blessing, needs is exposure in this area. Very
I agree.
much so.
I agree.
Because in every area that we've talked about today, there's room for improvement. There's room for investment. There is room to embrace, and lots of room to embrace. So it's really, really, really something.
Yeah, it's nice to be this wonderful little gem, but
You got to make it big.
we're too important, and we're doing such amazing things here. I mean, on such a large scale that it doesn't make any sense to be a hidden gem when you're doing these extraordinary.
No, the acreage that
Thanks.
you have, the acreage you can obtain. You know,
Right.
what you can get. And then in building, the buildings that would hold back 200 children from being here, then you got to get the building.
Absolutely.
And if it's the teachers would be easy to flow. It's a love affair, Adele. I mean, you know, it's everything you want. What do you want to eat? It's
Oh,
Bristol Aggie.
it is a love
What
affair.
do you want to get? Your flowers, Bristol Aggie. I mean, whatever it is that you cherish in life, and life's too short.
Correct.
Life's too short. So when you do it, I want to thank you very much for having us in your home. It's
My
your
beautiful
home. Yeah,
office.
well,
It
no,
is.
but
It's
but your home and having us get close to you, and what we want to do is make it something you'll be proud of.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. It's nice I love any opportunity to talk about the school.
Well, I
So
can see
thank
that.
you
I
for
can see
providing me this opportunity.
Well, it's our pleasure. It started with David Ferreira.
Yes.
Only because I asked him, could I interview you here? Because I wanted to get an entrance to here to see how to do it after talking to John. So I'll do John's thing, but I'll do it at Bristol Aggie. And we'll kind of,
Great.
Not only that, I would be, at that time, I would be pushing more investment, financial investment. at
Wonderful.
Bristol Aggie.
We'll
Okay?
take whatever we can get.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Adele, thank you for having us.
Good to see
Great
you.
to see you. Great to see you.
Come back often.
We will.
All right.
We will do a lot. You know, Bristol Aggie is a school that, it's like Adele was saying, is a hidden secret. But let's take the secret and bring it out in the open. Let's everybody see. Let the people see, no matter where they are, through the vehicle of YouTube, just how big, how beautiful, and how opportunistic Bristol Aggie is. So once again, you don't miss it. It's your fault. We'll see you. So long.